introduce the next Congresswoman of Texas 12. Who lives in that district? Like two of you? Who lives in that district? No, who lives in that district? Te tengo que preguntar en español. ¿Quién vive en ese distrito? Here she is, the one, the only, Vanessa Adia.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Vanessa Adia. I am a mom, I am a wife, and I teach middle schoolers in Fort Worth ISD. Somebody said, God bless you. Hey, and that's how I know I'm ready for Congress, because I teach middle schoolers for a living. Now, I want to share a story with you. After the election, there was some tension in my family. How many of you had some tension after the election? Yes, a lot of us. But you know, I think that one of the worst things about the division in our country into us and them is that them will always include those that we love, our family members, our neighbors, our friends. And so at Christmas time, I was near where my aunt lived, and I reached out to her, and we had dinner together. We did not agree with who we voted for. So we had one rule at the table, and that was no politics. So we caught up, we reminisced, and as we were parting, my aunt gave me this great big hug. And she said, I am so proud of you for going after your dream. And I looked at her and I said, this isn't my dream. No, I'm already living my dream. I love my job. I love getting to teach the next generation of Americans who are going to make a difference in this country. I live close enough to where I live that I can walk to work and I can drop my daughters off along the way at the school that my husband teaches at. I go out into my community and go grocery shopping, and I see family members of my students, and they don't run away from me. It's the most amazing experience. I am living my dream. No, this isn't about my dream. It's about the dream of my two daughters and all of my students, because it's not enough. It's not enough for me to live my dream when the dreams of the next generation are at stake. I am fighting for the American dream, to make sure that every child in this country has a quality public school education, pre-K through college and trade school. I am fighting to make sure that no one's dream is cut short because they are stretching their medication or they are delaying their health care. I am fighting for Medicare for all and making sure that we are all covered. I am fighting to make sure that we have a criminal justice system that actually is just and does not overpopulate our prisons for profit. And I am fighting to make sure that once and for all, we have a country that is of the people, that is by the people, and that is for the people, and is not for corporations. I think it's time for separation of corporation and state. What do you think? Now, I want to share another family story with you, and this is from November 2016. And you guys remember what it was like in November 2016. So it was Thanksgiving, and I had my family over. My kids were already put in bed. We'd done dinner, we'd cleaned up. And my dad and I are sitting on the couch, and he says, Vanessa, I've got a plan. And his plan was about how he was going to leave the country and how he wanted me to go with him. And I looked at him and I said, I can understand why you're afraid, but wait. The American people will fight back. I promise you, they will fight back. Just wait. And then he looked at me and he said something I was not expecting. He said, "We need people like you, Vanessa, to run for office because you have hope and compassion for your neighbors." And I wasn't ready to hear that. But you know what happened? In January, the day after Inauguration Day, millions of women and men who love them came out in Washington, D.C., in Austin, Texas, in Dallas, Texas, and right here in Fort Worth, Texas, where Beto O'Rourke came to march. And that day gave everyone hope. And you know what? The next weekend with the Muslim travel ban, you know what? We fought back again and we showed up at the airports. We showed up at the airports. And then we started hearing about the changes in ICE. And I saw the fear in my students. And I heard that one of my students was thinking about dropping out of high school because he did not feel safe coming to school. And I told him that I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're in the White House. If you want to come into my school and to come to my children, you have to come through me first. Because our children's job is to study hard and dream big. And I realized in that moment, as an adult who cares about them, it is my job to make sure they have those opportunities, that there is nothing standing away of their American dream. And that's why I'm running. It's why I wake up at 6 a.m. and get my daughters ready for school. It's why I go to school and teach 150 middle school students and then leave and go knock on doors and then start over and do it again and again and again and again. So that night in November, I was right about the American people. I have put my faith in you and I have never been disappointed. But my dad was only half right. Because we don't just need people like me and Beto O'Rourke who are willing to carry the torch for us. We need people like you. People like you who are willing to walk for us, who are willing to phone bank for us and write postcards and talk to our neighbors, because the blue wave will happen because of you. You will be the ones who make it happen. Without each and every one of you sharing your stories and telling why it's important for you to vote to your neighbors, we don't win. With you, we do win. Thank you so much for showing up tonight, because that is the first step. Please make sure that you have signed up with Beto O'Rourke. Please go see my volunteers at the blue umbrella back there in the back, and make sure that between now and November 6th, that you make that difference, because I can promise you, it's a whole hell of a lot easier to knock on a neighbor's door than it is to pack up all your crap and move out of the country.